Hi, good people. It's Sherry, and it's Friday night. I promised you a video a week, and so here is the video for tonight. I'm here with some free and valuable information to help you benefit yourself and others. Sometimes this information is information that you need to know that you didn't even know you needed to know. So it's very valuable. So is your time. So I thank you for investing it here with me. Tonight, I will be talking about advanced satellite-based technology and how it pertains to psychotronic weapons in the use of mind control. So, if you have a mind, which I know you do, then you might want to stay tuned because you're going to learn about the psychotronic weapons, how they target the mind, who's doing it, so how it's done, who's doing it, and some examples, and what is the end goal. Okay, those are the three things we're going to talk about: mind control, how it's done, who's doing it, examples, and what is the end goal. What do you get out of controlling somebody's mind? A lot. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay, you and you and you, all of you, welcome. For those of you, I do realize that everybody is not going to like my vibe, or my information. You might not feel that you need it, and that's okay. For whatever reasons, you have the choice to choose. So if you feel that this is not going to benefit you or whatever, I invite you to leave. That's always an option. Okay, so don't go away mad, as the old Metallica song says. Don't go away mad, just go away. Or don't leave mad, just leave. And I mean that, really. No hard feelings, okay? If you want to stay, that's fine. Thank you. We're going to have fun. And for you trolls, like I said before, when I give out the information to the good people, I have to also let the trolls hear it too. That's fine. Stick around. Maybe I can switch you over from being a troll into a good person. Not me, myself, but maybe I can be an example for you. I like to think that, me and the good people, we try, right? That's all you can do is try. So nobody's better than another. Just people trying to be good here. All right, so onward, huh? Okay, first point. We're going to talk about, I'm sitting on my beanbag chair, and I realize this is not the best chair for doing these, but that's what I have tonight. My shirt here, I don't mean to show you my taters. I really like this shirt. Always have faith. Whoa, that looks kind of at a funny angle. Okay. Great bras nowadays, you know what I mean? Anywho, I digress. So advanced satellite-based technology and how it works. Okay, psychotronic weapons, all right? So psychotronic weapons are things that attack the mind, okay? And how that works, just real briefly, is that the brain and the body and the environment all run off of electromagnetic frequencies. That's EMFs. Acronym EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. The brain itself operates on electromagnetic frequencies. Okay, that's a form of direct energy. So also the body, every time you do a small movement, blinking your eyes, coughing, snapping your fingers, combing your hair, doing your makeup, brushing your teeth, whatever it is that you do, that body part has to have a signal from the brain to move it and to complete that action. Okay, so yeah, so there's EMFs in the body and the brain, and in the body it's small movements as well as large movements. Okay, they call the small ones micro and the large movements macro. Okay, and then also in the environment, of course. So that like this broadcast right now, it's being done courtesy of EMF, electromagnetic frequency. That's right, you can't see it, right? But it's invisible and it's powerful. We know it's there because the broadcast is broadcasting invisibly, powerfully. Okay? So the brain also works on electromagnetic frequencies. The brain, the body, and the environment. Got it? TV, radio, internet, cell phones, everything and anything pretty much with a signal. Microwave ovens, radiation, those little RFID chips in your debit cards. Okay? All that. So let's see. All right. There is, excuse me a moment. I'm not trying to purposely give you any type of one-eye symbolism here. What I wanted to bring out was, okay, To measure the EMFs in the brain, they use a machine called an EEG. That stands for electrical encephalo, because the head is encephalo, anything to do with the head. Okay, that comes from medical terminology. And gram is a form of measurement, right? Just like at the hospital, if you get your heart frequencies read, it's called an EKG. That's an echocardiogram, okay, a machine to measure heart frequencies. And the EEG, electroencephalogram. I'm sorry, did I say echo? Electrocardiogram. So again, the key word being electrical, okay? Because the body and the brain also run on electricity as well as chemicals. Okay, we're so used to treating the body with chemicals, so or treating the body as a chemical form instead of its electrical form, that we forget that sometimes. At least us lay people do, I think. I know I did. Even though I took medical classes, a lot of it focused more on the chemical versus the electrical. But the body and brain are very much electrical, and that's going to become important right now, as you'll see in mind control. All right? So you understand that the brain gives off frequencies, which is a signal. Okay? So back in the 70s, there were 2 doctors at Stanford that decided to research mind control. What they found, one of them name was Dr. Paneo, his partner's name was Dr. Malik. Okay, 2 doctors at Stanford back in the 70s. Dr. Paneo would have people come in, volunteers, and he would show them flashcards, with a picture on it, or a word. And then after he showed them that, he would measure their brain activity on the EEG and see what pattern their brain took as they were looking at the word or the picture. Okay? So by doing that over and over and over again, and showing the same pictures, he was able to create a dictionary of human thoughts and emotions. Okay? A dictionary of human thoughts and emotions. Meaning, he could tell what a person was thinking by what brain activity showed up on the EEG. Okay? That's important. That means you could sit there and not say nothing, and with that, with the EEG, based upon, mapping, could tell what you're thinking. So yes, they can read your mind. Been able to since the 70s, if not earlier. Okay? Electroencephalogram. All right. Now, that was Dr. Paneo. His partner then went one step further. He said, wow, okay, we can read people's thoughts and emotions. That's a great thing to be able to do. Can you imagine? Sure. Imagine asking your husband, do you still love me after all these years? Ooh, what if you had one of those machines? And no. Can you imagine though? Being able to read somebody's minds. That's usually the final frontier, which is what we're talking about tonight. Okay. So anyways, Dr. Paneo created that dictionary of human thoughts and emotions. Okay. Now his partner, Dr. Robert G. Malik, he went one step further. He said, okay, now we can read the thoughts and emotions of people. How about, because all they are frequencies, remember at its very core, every thought, little ones, what you're going to have for dinner, what you're going to, your errands you got to do, what time you're going to go to sleep, what time you're going to wake up, your routine, to your bigger thoughts, like solving an equation or whatever, that can all be, those are all thoughts and emotions, and they can be read out. So it's not a small thing. It's your very personality. It's who you are. So it's a very big thing. Very big. Okay, so Paneo figured out the human dictionary. His partner, Robert G. Malik, made a machine, a frequency modulator machine, keyword frequency, because the brain runs off of frequencies. And he said, okay, I see this signal reads this when this person thinks of ice cream. Okay? He made a machine, and they could send that signal of ice cream. Okay, when Sherry thinks of ice cream, her brain goes up, up, down, down. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. Well, we have the code for what she's thinking when she thinks of ice cream. Every time she thinks of ice cream, that's the signal. It doesn't deviate, right? Just like when you're learning to walk and all that, your brain takes the shortest route so we can think quickly. It's not going to take a different route each time. If your brain goes up, up, down, down to think of ice cream, Why would it change? So once they figure this out with the handy machine, all you have to do is send that same frequency back into the brain, and you can trigger a person, as it were, to think of ice cream. So what does that mean? That means I can be sitting here thinking of whatever, not ice cream, hamburger or whatever, anything but ice cream. Could not even be hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm not thinking of ice cream. But if that frequency gets sent into my brain, I can think of ice cream. But you see, it wasn't my thought. It was a signal forced in. Okay? Because a thought, all a thought is, and an emotion, is an EMF, an electromagnetic frequency. It's that simple. It seems funny to think of that, right? Like all our thoughts, our hopes, our dreams, our emotions, mad, sad, glad, all those underneath emotions, the sub-emotions, they're just frequencies? Yup. 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 It's that simple. Simple, but what is the old saying? Simple, but not easy. What is it? Or something. Anyway, simple concept, but detailed, I guess. So there's a term I'd like you to get familiar with. It is called EEG, heterodyning. Okay? EEG, there's that word again. That's the machine to measure brain activity, the EMFs. Just like EKG for the heart, EEG for the head. Encephalogram, measurement, okay? Machine for measuring. Heterodyning. So hetero in medical terminology is always opposite, right? So heterosexual means you like someone of the opposite sex, okay? Homo, it would be the same, okay? That's the easiest example I can think of. And dyne is the root word for power, okay? So you're mixing. What you would do with EEG heterodyning is you're taking signals from the brain and you're taking outside signals, right? Like with that frequency modulator by Robert G. Malik, his patent, and you're mixing them. You're a mixer. Two turntables and a microphone. So what are you mixing? Sorry, my mouth just did some weird. This is hard. It's been a long week, as they always are. I digress. EEG heterodyning. Mixing signals. Not just any signals, not just music. Brain signals. Signals to affect thoughts and emotions. Ooh, that's serious. Very serious. Because by doing that, you can modify behavior. You can send somebody a signal, make them think of ice cream when they weren't thinking of ice cream before. I'm being nice. You realize that, and I'm saying ice cream. Could be anything, okay? Let's just stick with ice cream. I don't want to get in any more trouble. But I want you to think critically here. For those of you who know, you're following. Yes? Okay. All right. It is what it is. All right, so Dr. Pineo and Dr. Malik, Robert G. Malik, they together, that dream team, and they were pioneers in mind control technology, okay? Psychotronic weapons. How could you use that machine as a weapon, right? You have the ability to not only read minds, but you can send thoughts back in. How could you weaponize it? Well, come on. Critical thinking. Pretty easily, right? Send somebody a distressing thought. Just example, I don't know. You gotta, even though if you're not evil, you gotta think like an evil person. You gotta be able to know where they're coming from. Okay, so I'm a wicked mad scientist. Blah. Okay, I wanna use my little handy machine and I wanna hurt somebody with it. Okay, how would you do it? Well, say they wake up happy. Their baseline is a happy person, more or less. They wake up calm. Okay, what would you do to stick it to them, man? Because you're a wicked scientist. You're mad. Both. You're mad and you're mad. What would you do? I don't know. Send them a signal, make them depressed. Right? You got somebody who wants to be an activist or fight for rights of people? Oh, no. Give them a wave of depression. Bam. All it is a signal. Remember? EEG heterodyning. Because every thought and emotion, mad, sad, glad, can be read off on a signal. That's right. So there is a signal in the brain that produces feelings of happiness. So you could use it in a good way. You could treat depression with it, right? Or if you're a mad scientist and you're wicked, you could make somebody angry, right? They're waking up okay, and you can just flip that little and send in that signal. Okay? Just saying, that's what EEG heterodyning is. Okay, you got it. You got it, you got it, you got it. We're done with that. Mixing signals. Okay, there is, okay, my light is blinking right now. You guys can't see this. You don't know what I go through. Don't cry for me, Argentina. No. It's good. It's good. I don't know if it's the wasp in me or what. You know, when you're raised, my grandpa was a Marine, and you know, my family, very funny people, very hearty. You know, the kind of people just I think a lot of just a lot of people in general, we're just hardy. You know, you go through stuff and you can't let it like break you. So even if it hurts, I think it's an animal instinct. They say like in the wild, if an animal gets hurt, they don't let people know that they're hurt because, or they don't let other animals know, because that would be almost like an invitation for other animals to come mess with them. You know, so you have to act as if, you know, and in my family, we have kind of we have mastered that a little bit. You know, my leg could be falling off. I'm like, I'm fine. most times, most times. So I'm trying not to freak out with the light keeps. You know, I'm having electrical disturbances in my home, which is not just coincidentally. I digress. We can get into that in another video. Okay, let's talk about this. I got a little name for you. Okay, this name is Tammy. Okay. TAMI. Tammy. It's an acronym, okay? It is an acronym for I'll just read this little excerpt for you. It says, all radar-based and satellite systems have been equipped with this means you can do it remotely. Everything is remote. And, okay, so all radar and satellite-based systems have been equipped with remote psychoenergy. Okay, so psyche, the mind, energy, reading and manipulation. So the ability, again, to read thoughts and also influence thoughts. Okay, and this is called TAMI. It's an acronym. TAMI, thought, T, thought, A, amplifying, M, mind, I, interface. Thought, amplifying, mind, interface. Think of that. Your thoughts amplifying, and your mind interfacing. Interfacing is to, you know, think about it, see face to face, two different face, right? Syncing, it would be another word for it, okay? So like Bluetooth syncing, you sync your phone with your computer, or you sync your TV with your computer, right? That's syncing. That's a form of EEG heterodyning. Well, not EEG, but yeah, it's heterodyning. You're mixing signals to sync them. Okay? Because everything works on a signal. All right. So Tammy, thought amplifying mind interface. Well, what are they interfacing? This has been around since 1976, based on the 1974 patent by Malik. It's if you want to look it up, just so you know, exists. It's patent number 3951134. Okay? It's an apparatus and method for remotely monitoring and altering brain waves. Who cares, brainwaves? Well, because every time you think and feel, that's a brainwave. So, pretty important, because every human, we're always thinking, we're always feeling. Even if you don't want to, you could just sit there like, and you're still going to be thinking something. It's how we're built. So, this is very important. Yeah. All right. So, Tammy. I introduced you to Tammy. My friend Tammy. Gotta love Tammy. All right. So now you know how it's done. EEG heterodyning, mixing signals, right? Two turntables and a microphone. Mixing signals, signal mixer, right? Like a DJ. What's that one song? Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my... Last night a DJ... We're okay. Cut. Edit that out. I don't know how to edit yet, but edit that out, people. Okay, moving on. Who is doing this? Who would have access to psychotronic weapons to attack the mind and influence thoughts, etc., right? To read minds and influence minds. Who would have access to that? Well, you know what I say. Tale of two Mikes. Mikes as in MIC, that's an acronym too. Military Industrial Complex. Okay, so military, that covers land, sea, and air. You know, Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force. Specifically the Air Force. Why? Because a lot of the mind control is what kind of technology? Advanced satellite-based. Where are the satellites? In the sky. Okay, so a lot of Air Force. Okay, and this is not just, you know, one region. This is globally. Global. Okay? Satellites aren't just in one region of the sky, right? Of space. No. This is global. All right. And this is, oh, may I add too, when this happens with the Tammy, let me see. I want to explain something else real quick. Hold on, before we move on to who's doing it. Want to make sure I explained it right. Oh, I wanted to give you an example real quick. Okay. So Malik discovered he could influence brain waves just as easily as reading them. So again, I just want to reiterate, you can read brain waves, so read thoughts and emotions, and you can actually influence them, okay? So what could be done is someone like a psychic warrior or somebody who's been trained can EEG clone his brain waves onto a target person, okay? I'm getting a little, this is a little wordy, but this is symbolized in the movie The Matrix, if you remember, where the agents take over random citizens' bodies while in pursuit of the heroes, and it's done in real time. So it's just saying that with this satellite technology that they can, you know, put thoughts into people's different whomever in real time, and have them say things or act a certain way based upon giving them a signal. How is this done again? EEG heterodyning. You're sending signal into the brain signal to override it and produce the thought that you want. You're sending in a thought, which is a frequency, because that's what the brain does. When it thinks a thought, it produces a frequency. So in order to send a thought, you send in a frequency. It can be done in real time with multiple people. And I've actually seen this in action. Yeah, I wish I could be making this up. It's quite fascinating, actually. It's fascinating, and it's also disconcerting. It's not the heavy enough word, but when people don't realize that they're actually speaking not of their own volition, but you know it because you're the target and you know how the program works. It is an amazing thing to behold. Amazing. It's amazing that it can be done, you know, and it's amazing, and like I said, it's disconcerting because you're seeing people being basically puppeteered right in front of your eyes, and it's like and you can tell them, and unless they understand, which is why we're doing this video, they could think you're, you know, they don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? That's not possible. Au contraire, it's very possible. Not only is it possible, but it's happening on a grand scale. That's why we're here tonight, learning, okay? That's why we're here. If you have a mind, this applies to you, okay? So yeah, that's what EEG heterodyning is. That's how it's used in mind control, okay? Just to give you an example, well, we'll come back to that, okay? Who's doing this? Who? Your neighbor? Your friends? Your family? Who has access to these machines, this EEG signal mixers, to send in thoughts and read your thoughts? Who has that? Okay, let's start. Tale of two Mikes, okay? Mike's, spelled M-I-C. Military, it's an acronym. Military Industrial Complex. Okay, so again, that's land, sea, and air. That's your, your Air Force, your Navy, your Army, your Marine Corps. Everybody that's equipped for war. Because what are these again? We're talking about psychotronic weapons. Okay, these are weapons of war. When you can send a thought into somebody's head, that is very powerful. Okay, the mind is a powerful thing. So if you can manipulate it, you're darned right, it can be used for a weapon of war. Psychotronic weapon. Okay. And military, obviously, they have to make sure that they have access to things like that. And they also have to know how it works, so in case the enemy has access to things like that. Which, come on, we're all humans. If one person has it, another person has it too. So, who else has it? Tale of two mics, right? Not just one mic, two mics. MIC. We can call Mick too, whichever. But MIC. The other one is the medical industrial complex. Medical. So we're talking military, right? They have hospitals, the VA hospitals. That's perfect because then you're combining them. You're combining medical and military. That's the highest of the high, right? For research and development and all that. So they have access to this type of equipment. Who else? Universities run by state, usually they're state funded. Many times they're state funded. Okay. Also private colleges. Anything medical, private organizations, research companies, anything medical industrial complex. That's right, it's a whole complex, and it is very serious, and they know what's going on with these psychotronic weapons. Okay? They have to. It's medical. When you're talking the brain and you're talking mixing signals, it's some pretty serious business. Okay? So military, tale of two mics, military industrial complex and the medical industrial complex. That's whom, for starters. Now, if you also remember too, I just want to show you something. We talked about my old, another video I did, we talked about the power pyramid, and we kind of broke it down into 6 sections, who's at the very top, and everything, everybody as it goes down, okay? So, so definitely the two mics are in there, the two mics, the military industrial complex and the medical industrial complex. The elite are definitely on the very top of the power pyramid, underneath the true God, of course, and the spirit realm. But definitely the elite because they are very powerful and they have a lot of money. Now remember, there's good elite, there's good people and bad people in every circle. So you got your Luciferian worshiping elite. I said it before and I meant it. That's, some people worship Lucifer, and they are very interested in psychotronic weapons because, that's mind control. That's what Satan is, Lucifer has been wanting since the dawn of time, right? That's how we got into this situation, right? He promised that, well, we don't want to get too into, but yeah, why not? Okay, right? So in the Garden of Eden, Lucifer promised Eve, do you have to listen? Is it so? You have to listen to God. She said, of course, yes. That's the one command that he gave us. We should not eat from this tree. He said, oh, he lied. He told a lie. He said, oh, that is not true. He just knows that the day that you eat from it, that you will be like him, knowing good from bad. And basically, what he was saying was, you'll be able to be your own God. You won't have to have a God. He lied because that's obviously not true. We always need God, no matter what. And 2, he was saying that because he was doing a mind control, right? He was manipulating. He was lying. He wasn't telling the truth on it. Okay, so, and he appealed to her ego. You don't have to listen to, God. You can be your own God. We've heard that one before. But isn't that funny that he wanted to tell us we could be our own gods. But now, years later, and human realm has access to these psychotronic weapons, and what do they want to do with it? And what does he want to do with it? The same thing he accuses God of doing. He wants to control us. And more so than God. God gives us freedom to make our choices. We can make bad choices, it's on us, but he gives us the freedom to do so. Lucifer and the people who worship him want to take away that very ability to even make the decision in the first place. You get it? You get how serious this is? Mind control. Your mind is what makes you you. Right? You guys and me, that's very precious. Trying to take it away from us. Okay. So that's who has access to it. And in the power pyramid, definitely the medical industrial complex and the military industrial complex are big players, and have access to that. I wanted to say also there is the paramilitary. Okay, this hits home a little bit. Paramilitary has access to these psychotronic weapons. Okay, paramilitary is going to be things like, that's more stateside. Okay, so your police, your sheriffs, your state troopers, okay, stateside, right? They already have access to things like LRADs, long-range acoustic devices. Acoustic is another word for frequency, right? Acoustic, singing, la la la, that's frequencies, right? The voice carries to the ear, okay? Acoustic devices, sound can be used. Sound is a frequency and it can be used as a weapon, right? When turned up real high, can knock you on your feet. You ever heard the bass in a car driving by and the bass is turned up real loud and you can actually like feel it vibrating in the air, right? That's because it's a frequency. Okay, so yeah, so military has access to these type of things, as well as paramilitary. So your local police, your local sheriffs, your state troopers. Also, obviously on a grander scale, federal, you got your Homeland, your Department of Defense, of course. They're the ones who make the weapons of war for the military to use. Then you also have all your intel agencies. So CIA, FBI, all those alphabet agencies, they have access to these weapons, psychotronic weapons. Okay, and yep, that's who has access to it. Just so you know, again, I just want to make sure that you know that we're talking patented devices. We're not talking about theories. This is not a theory. A theory is something that has not been put into practice, right? These are actual, they're past the theory stage. These are actually patented devices that are being used. So, no longer theory, just, I don't know what's the word, just a fact, or I don't know, like just I don't know, a patent. So again, Robert G. Malik, if you ever want to look that up, the patent number is 3951134. Okay? Do your research on that. Don't just take my word for it, okay? There's also other patents that can help, or that have been used for things like psychotronic weapons. There's a subliminal message generator. I could give you the patent number, but I'll let you look it up on your own. There's also one, it's a system and method for controlling the nervous system of a living organism. Nervous system, that's everything, that's you. Okay. There's also a method and associated apparatus for remotely determining information as to a person's emotional state. Okay, now these I know that they have and they're using in other countries. And when people go to work in the factories, they have them wear EEG headsets. Okay, and with the EEG headsets, the bosses at the command center can see what's emotional state their workers are in, and if the workers show too much of a fluctuation, emotional fluctuation, sometimes you go to work, you might be having a bad day. It'll wear off, but here we just go to work and work it on out, right? There, you can actually get sent home if your emotional state is showing off in their system. Okay, so that is the capability of this type of machinery. I don't know. How would you like that? How would you like to go to work and put on a headset and know that your boss can see your brain waves? What if you're training a new coworker? Oh, they're going to be looking at your brain waves that day. Goodness. Invasive. Very invasive. Okay. There's also a method of changing a person's behavior. There's also a system for stimulating the brain to exhibit specific brain wave rhythms and thereby altering the subject's state of consciousness. Here's an important one. You get that? There's a system number 5,123,899. This has been around since 1992. It's a system for stimulating the brain to exhibit a specific brainwave rhythm to alter their state of consciousness. So your brain, when you're in different states, the waves change, alpha, beta, delta, theta, okay? When you're sleeping, I believe it's theta, okay? So what they're saying is they can take you from an awake state and put you into a sleeping state, right? They're changing your level of consciousness, right? So when you're awake, that's one level of consciousness. When you're awake and relaxed, that's another level of consciousness. When you're sleeping, that's a different state of consciousness. This apparatus can actually put you into a state of unconsciousness. Okay? And I know that they use that at the hospitals to assist in things like surgeries. Wonderful use. Okay, wonderful tool. Now, that same device in the hands of, let's say, a human trafficker, knows where all the single ladies in the city or county live, know they live alone, know what shift they work. Hey, they work first shift. They get up for work at 5 o'clock in the morning. They go to sleep at 11 o'clock, all we'd have to do, now remember, this is all remote and it's satellite based. Let's just beam in our little machine, apparatus 5,123,899, created in 1992. Let's beam our little apparatus in on them, and we can make him or her fall asleep into an altered state of consciousness. Well, what could we do if they're unconscious? I don't know. If you're a sexual trafficker, you could let people maybe rape them. You could get paid for people raping an unconscious person. There's people who get off on that, I don't mean to be vulgar, but there are people, we're talking about Luciferian worship, we're talking about God, the true God. You have to know that there's people out there with some really sick perversions, and part of Luciferian worship, they have sex with dead corpses. In fact, many times Luciferian worshipers own things like cemeteries because they use the bodies in their rituals. Yes, sir. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So if they have no qualms about having sexual acts with a dead corpse, how much more so would they care if it's an unconscious person? It'd be the same thing to them, to a person that's depraved. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know here in Wisconsin, there had to be a law set up recently. I think it was, don't quote me, but I want to say 2008, something like that. Okay, recently. That people were not allowed to have sex with dead corpses, okay, in cemetery. Oh, now, you would think that's a law that would have been made up like in the 1800s or something, when the state was first formed. Like, people really don't need to be told that, or if they need to be told just once, and then but no. Obviously, it was being done recently that they had to actually make a law for it, because they only make laws if they need to, right? I mean, if nobody's doing it, why would you need a law for it? So, a little apparatus like this doohickey is a pervert's dream tool. They would love it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this is free and valuable information. And you'd hate to be the one, I know a lot of women and men, single mothers, single women with no kids, single men with no kids. We like to live alone sometimes. You like your privacy. You come home from work, you want to relax. It's peaceful to be by yourself. It truly is. We've been able to live like that now, that we don't need two incomes as much anymore if you live simply. But nowadays, with these type of apparatuses on the market in the hands of people, it's dangerous. Okay, because you never know when your name could come up on somebody's list, and the fact that it can be done, what would stop them? Okay, let's go one level further, and then we'll get off this. Okay, but I just want to point this out. Okay, I want to paint a picture for you. Obviously, this is a patent. It exists. If I had the money, which I don't, but if I did, I could call up and I could order this machine, this patent, this one that makes people fall asleep. Let's say we were going to order that one, okay? I could order that, and I could learn to use it, and I could use it on whomever. It's invisible. Remember, we're talking EMFs. We're talking satellite technology, which is invisible. That's how we're doing, again, this broadcast is from satellite. So you can't see the EMFs pumping to publish this broadcast, but obviously it is, because that's how we're able to see each other and do this. Okay. So if I wanted to order this item, if I had the money, I could, and then I could use it however I see fit. Okay. If you're a person with bad intentions, you could really hurt some people with this. Now, let's go one level further. Okay, forget the lone wolf. What if I'm a mafia, head of a mafia? What if I'm a sex trafficker? I'm a pimp. You know? What if I'm a pimp and I just, I had it hard. I grew up hard. I feel like I have extra touch with the ladies, and I'm usually able to manipulate them mentally, but it's been hard. Women been getting their self-esteem increased and stuff. And you got women like this one chatting and raising their self-esteem more. And it's harder to get victims. Oh, excuse me, victims. Man, life's hard out here for a pimp. Pimps are too good to work at factories, apparently. Anywho, what's a pimp to do? What's a mafia boss to do? They make a lot of their money on trafficking, not just drug trafficking. Drugs are drugs, it's your body, do what you want. To human traffic somebody for sexual purposes, now, that is very criminal. So are drugs. I feel like with drugs, though, you have more of a choice. But still, they're both bad. But human trafficking, okay? What if a mafia boss gets a hold of this equipment? He has to order it. They got money. They're mafia, man. Organized crime. They got money. What if that pimp? What if he takes out a loan from the mafia, right? The pimp's underneath the mafia guy. What if he takes out a loan? What if they go in together, in cahoots? Hey, we can both use this. I'll help you get victims, I know people, and, I'll go do it. And mafia boss, sure, just keep my name out of it. I'm going to pay you for it, I'll pay for the machine, just order it to your house, put it on your card, use the green dot card, whatever. I'm spinning the story. But you guys get what picture I'm painting for you. Basically, the fact that this patent exists, this mind control, this is a form of a psychotronic weapon. Okay, that's what this is. And they're on the market for purchase. Okay, so what's stopping a pervert from doing it? What's stopping a crime lord? What's stopping a pimp? What's stopping people? They're for sale. Nothing. They're using these weapons of war on our, that can be used on our mind to put us to sleep, to affect our thoughts, to change our emotions. Okay, this is some serious stuff. You can do some serious damage in a community with these type of weapons. Okay, now let's just say you got a family, say I'm a mad scientist. Say I'm a jealous mad scientist. Say I got an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, okay? And I just really, oh boy, or, ex-husband, he's got an ex-wife and he just really wants to stick it to her, but just, she's going on with her life. She's happy. What if he's real sick? What if he has a lot of money? What if he gets a hold of one of these doohickeys? Just think. You got to be able to think like a wicked person, but not be like a wicked person. What's the Bible say? Be wise like a serpent. Serpent's usually referring to Satan, but be as innocent as a dove. So you get it? So you got to be able to be as smart as Satan so that he can't outsmart you, so that you understand, the way that wicked people think. But you have to still keep your innocence, right? You don't turn into them. No, but you know how they think, so you can fight them. Know your enemy, right? So, really, if you're a jealous old ex-spouse, you get a hold of one of these, say you work for the FBI or the CIA, this is part of your job. You got access to this. Say you just want to be a jerk or something. You could send in a signal to the persons, they wake up happy and stuff, You could send in a signal to their spouse to make them all upset. All of a sudden, the spouse is flaming mad. You wake up a little irritated. Oh, I don't like you breathing. You snore at night. You hog the bed. You gonna do that laundry today? Right? Now, if you don't realize that these type of weaponry exist, you might think, oh, they're in a bad mood. Just be aware that there's a lot of stuff going on. I digress. I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep it organized. Okay, so we talked about how. mixing those signals. EEG heterodyning. We talked about who pioneered that. Pineo and Malik. We talked about the TAMI, right? Like the scene off of The Matrix. Thought amplifying mind interface. That's where you can send thoughts and emotions into people's heads in real time, and you can do it on a grand scale. Okay, so if you have a person who's targeted, you can follow the target, and you can also have each person the target encounters experience, have them say stuff to the target, not of their own volition, because it'll be being sent in. The people that are doing it never know. Could be done to you. That's when a signal is sent into you. Remember, it's invisible. Just like the signals used to run this broadcast, radio, TV, internet, phones, they're all invisible, direct energy. So you can't see it coming. How would you know? You just say, oh, you ever said something? Oh boy, that just was so out of play. I usually don't. I'm not saying every time that happens, you can't blame it on Tammy. Can't blame her for everything. But I mean, how do you know when it's being done, and how do you not know when it's being done? You wouldn't. But it's done. These are actual patents that are being used. How do you know? How does anyone know? We don't, okay? So, but now at least we know now you know what, okay? And who. We talked about who. The main, everybody in the power pyramid, if they can get a hold of this psychotronic weapons, they can use them. But because they're kind of expensive, it's going to be mostly people in the upper parts of the pyramid, particularly the two MICs, military industrial complex. You better believe it, they got these, okay? They know how to use them. And also the medical industry industrial complex. They got them, and they know how to use them. And just want to reiterate, every time these aren't used as weapons, they are also used as tools. Like, we talked about the one to change your state of consciousness, to put you to sleep. In a hospital setting where you're getting surgery, that's a wonderful tool. You don't want to wake up during heart surgery, right? Okay, for a trafficker to have access to that's very dangerous. Then it's a weapon now. Okay, because he or she will use it to put you in an unconscious state and have trains run on you. Right? Sex traffic you, and you think you were sleeping. You went to sleep at night. Okay, I went to sleep like a child of God, and wait, I woke up and I felt like I had sex, and my bra was on funny in my clothes, and I have bruising, and where the heck did that come from? Well, because somebody had access to one of those little patents, psychotronic weapons, that are available for sale. I'm not trying to encourage anybody, so smart people, please listen, because the wicked ones are listening. So please, smart people, please, 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 follow me. Okay? Listen. This is for real. Okay? Not theory stuff. These are real live patents that exist and are for sale and are being used. Okay. We're almost done. What is the goal with this? What is the goal with this whole psychotronic weapons, controlling thoughts, reading them, sending them back in? What is the goal? Well, the goal is hive mind. Hive mind, as in, I'll show you a little. It's not that you can't picture what it is. I know you know. But, what the heck, I'll show you anyways. Hive mind is for, picture something like this. Beehive, right? Okay, right? Swarm of bees. And bees work in a hive. They all work together, right? Let's look at the picture again, right? They're all working with one goal in mind, and they're focused. You ever hear that? That's why that phrase, worker bee. I'm a worker bee. That means you're working hard. You're rolling with the hive. You're getting more done as a team, right? That's good. It's a good thing. I mean, when we do things together, we get a lot more accomplished. Excuse me, and I'm sitting on the beanbag chair. I'm gonna change that, but bear with me. So the goal, again, is hive mind. That's a collective conscious. Now, if you can understand the fact that things like Tammy, when you're interfacing, okay, when you're mixing signals, you can sync the human brain with devices. I know you've heard of that. Like when soldiers come home from war and they get a new leg. Okay, then they get a chip in their eye or something. And the chip in the eye, okay, because it's frequency, right? It interfaces, it talks with the synthetic leg, okay? That's a form of syncing, like Bluetooth, right? You sync your phone with your computer. Same idea. You can also sync human brains with other human brains. Yes, there exists something. It's called the thought helmet. You always thought that was just a little term, right? Put on your thought cap. Put on your thinking cap. There's like a real one. Like, ooh, put on your. It probably looks like a magneto helmet, right? Yeah. And so what? What about that? Well, that means we can be telepathic. We can speak to each other without having to use words. I was sending out, vibes of love. you know, um, but yeah, that's what that means with this technology, that we're able to be telepathic. We've reached that point in society with advanced satellite-based technology. And again, this is not. I don't like to speak. Well, this is just. It is what it is. Research it. But this is not just ideas. These are actual existing things, okay, that are in practice. Not theory, not in theory, they're in practice, okay? So hive mind, you can do more as a group. So the goal is for hive mind to get everybody on the same wavelength. You get it now? Wavelength, frequency, wave, same thing. They're the same meaning, different words. Frequencies, waves, signals. Um, so that is one of the goals, is to get everybody on a collective conscious and to have everybody synced. Smart homes, smart buildings, smart cities, smart states, smart world, global, right? One world order, new world order. Yep. So because we can all affect each other, to put it, you know how it is, like if you're in a good mood and you go into like your class or your work, and then like you can kind of influence other people to be in a good mood too. They'll be like, wow, you're so, what's with you today? I'm just in a good mood, everything. I was just feeling pretty good. And each organ and each body part vibrates on a certain frequency, so you're actually vibrating a frequency, that other people can also, as it were, sync with it and also become on that frequency, right? And that's a good thing. Also, same is true with negative emotions, right? Sometimes you're just in a bad mood and you just pass it along to everybody. You're just feeling down, and you're, as humans, that's because we're built like that. We're supposed to be in sync, as it were. So, yeah. So, in conclusion, what does this all mean? It means we should be conscious of our conscious, right? We should understand the power that we have, because obviously the people in power know how powerful the human brain is. It is wonderful. We can do things with these things. We're wondrously made. That is for sure. In God's image, the true God. So, yeah, we have the ability to affect the world. So keep that in mind, and when you're going about your daily activities, I will too. I'm going to try to keep that in mind as well, and make sure that try to be positive, right? And pray for people, especially those in who are the good people that are helping lead and taking big risks and whatnot. They need our support. Everybody, right? We're collective here. Okay, we all want the same things, more or less. Let's see. I just want to mention I won't be speaking on any private issues of mine. I will not. I'm aware that you're aware, okay? And I have apologized many, many times. I will keep apologizing. I will. So but the message still needs to be delivered, so I'll be doing both. I'll be apologizing, and I'll be keep informing. Free valuable information. You can still find it here once a week on Fridays. And for those of you who are sticking with me and who understand and are forgiving, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. think you understand, and I appreciate it. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Yeah. So moving forward, I guess I'm just going to leave off with the usual. Okay, we covered a lot about this. Do your research on it. Okay. And God loves us. Remember that. All right. That's it. Have a great evening. Thanks for listening, and bye.